GameOver 86 coming back with another video, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we have some possible big-time news. Yes, it is rumor right now, but it is big-time speculation to possible Sony acquiring TakeTwo Interactive. Now, a lot of this stuff has been floating around, and my channel, I'm not all about bringing rumors and a bunch of hype and gossip and bullshit propaganda, but if this is a possibility to where Sony can pick up TakeTwo Interactive, who obviously have been responsible for certain games as with help with Grand Theft Auto, the Red Dead Redemption franchise, 2K Sports, and among other great games that have been for the multi-plat division for a long time, and they have been top selling, grossing, all that great stuff. If they could acquire this company, I'm gonna go ahead and say, within if PlayStation 5 has backwards compatibility, I'm gonna just say it's over. There would be no stopping this freight train, and console wise, Xbox literally would forfeit. In my not physically and, like, you know, for us to all see, but mentally it would be over. They have purchased a lot of great companies over the last few months as well, but not to the levels of this company. And as this rumor has been going on / speculation, they also state that TakeTwo Interactive software stock climbed 4.7%. Rumors that Sony Corporation is in advanced board level discussion to acquire TakeTwo Interactive in a mostly a cash deal that would value the company at $130 a share, according to Joel Collooney, head of technology and media trading for Wedbush Securities. The TakeTwo, though, responded to the GameIndustry.biz inquiry, saying, as a practice, we do not comment on rumors or speculation as of this writing. It also states that Sony has not yet responded to a request for comment. So, a few things that I take away, and I want to read a little bit more, obviously, from this stuff, but a few things I want to say before we finish reading up some of this stuff is, man, if Sony can acquire a company like TakeTwo that produced the Grand Theft Autos, who've made millions and billions of dollars off their Grand Theft Auto franchises, and they get the Red Dead Redemption franchise, 2K, which is the best basketball game out there compared to the NBA Live, which is a joke. They would think about this. If they got these, they would have exclusive. If I can even talk right now, because it's so damn early in the morning. It's like 6:30 here in the morning when I'm shooting this video. So they would have exclusivity to the best baseball franchise in MLB The Show, which they already have that, obviously. They would have the best exclusivity to the NBA franchise professionally, which is 2K. Obviously, they would have Red Dead Redemption franchise, which was number one in money and making for that short amount of time, with Black Ops 4 was in there, obviously, but it was the top 2 game last year. And then they would acquire Grand Theft Auto, who's one of the biggest franchises games out there, multi-plat-wise, generating money, hand over fist. So when I see that, I just think of, wow, think of them exclusives compared to Xbox's buying up them other exclusives from their special, the other studios that they have purchased. When you compare them, it's literally like apples to oranges. It's not even close. Everybody would buy a PlayStation to buy the next Grand Theft Auto 6. That is a fact. I'm not even speaking for a fanboyism right now. I'm not even speaking for Sony tards or whatever you want to say it. I know Xbox fans, I know Nintendo fans, I know PC fans. They would all go buy a PlayStation to play Grand Theft Auto 6. And that is where I made the video a while back ago. If you guys haven't got a chance to check that out, this is why I stated, even in the comments, and I talked to a lot of you, if Sony released a lot of their exclusives to PC, and not console, obviously, it would help them build even more money to acquire companies like this, to make more video games exclusively for the Sony fans, exclusive on that platform of choice, and PC. Because PC generates a lot more money, they can bring in a lot more money for these developers, and it would actually help both companies, and it would help the fans who support just Sony diehardly, or Sony fanboys, or whatever you guys call yourselves, or if you just claim to be a Sony fan and your platform of choice, why wouldn't you want more money to go to your developer that you appreciate that game, for other people to appreciate that same game only on their platform? So I can see this going really, really big. I mean, I'm not one to get overexcited because honestly, I play any game on any platform of my choice, depending on, like, I have all platforms of that choice. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying, if I choose to play Grand Theft Auto 5 on my Xbox or PC or PlayStation, I have that choice. Yes, it is a little odd to see these games getting taken back in a way, because Grand Theft Auto technically was a PlayStation game back in the early 90s. And a lot of these big time games like Red Dead Redemption and stuff like that have been around for over 10 years. So these games are solidified in, you know, the video game culture as big story driven, heavy, drawn out narratives, plus just online multiplayer, money grabbing. Just, this would sell consoles. I'm sorry, it would. You could put anything compared to this, and it would, a new Grand Theft Auto 6 would sell. I mean, if you just paired it with the PlayStation 5 and marketed it as backwards compatible, that's 50 million units right there, just off one game. I'm not even playing. If that's the only place you could buy it, people are going to want to play it. So they're going to buy a PlayStation 5, even though they may not agree with it. They're going to do it because they want to play it. Red Dead Redemption 3, let's just say they're making another one, right? That's 20, 30 million units right there. Like, I hate to sound like I'm just being arrogant. I'm not lying. If you go up there and Google how many games have sold multi-plat total, Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 and 2K Sports, do the math. If it's all on the PlayStation, that's the only place you're going to buy it. Times that by every PlayStation that you would buy, obviously. I mean, you wouldn't times it by 3, but still, if you think about it, if you space them out between year and year. So if you get NBA 2K, which would probably come out every year, obviously, because it does now. But if you got a Red Dead Redemption once every 3 to 4 to 5 years, maybe 5 years, I'd say once every 4 to 5 years if it was me, and a Grand Theft Auto once every generation console. But still, they would probably want to do it more, maybe once every 4 to 5 years, just because they own it. You're talking released once a year. That would sell you 50 million units. Sony would dominate. And then the very next year, you're going to get Red Dead Redemption 3 after Grand Theft Auto 6. That would sell a ton of units, especially people that wouldn't buy, especially if the PlayStation 5 just hit, and then a year later, or that year, you get backwards compatibility, you get the streaming and the choice of downloading games off your PlayStation Now, if you don't own them games from the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3, and 4 era. You get a better controller that lasts a little bit longer in battery. You're going to get the PlayStation VR 2 possibly built inside, so you don't have to have all them cables, and it's supposed to come with a wireless headset. Rumored speculation, I'm just saying, with the glove and all that. And then you have these big games exclusively coming to the PlayStation, like a year apart, separated. Who's to say that they won't sell over 150 to 200 million units? I'm just saying, that would be insane for Sony. I'm not for all the exclusivity, but them picking up this huge company, developer, oh my goodness, it wouldn't be close. It wouldn't even be close. When it comes to the casual market, people recognize Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption 2 over games like a State of Decay 2 from Undead Labs, or other games that they've acquired, like from Obsidian, We Happy Few. And I know that they had the PlayStation 4 game, but I'm saying that was the last one that they're going to be making for the Sony platform. So it's just, the more variety of people see this, they will recognize these games. It's huge. But let me go ahead and finish stating this, and then I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on this, and I'll ask you guys that at the end. But it says, this is not to say that Sony is definitely not buying Take-Two Interactive for $130 per share, but it perhaps to point out the stories currently making the rounds, it says, aren't stemming from any individual actually asserting them as true. So like I said, these are rumors, these are speculation. Instead, they are simply accounts of people passing along what they have heard with no way to determine the credibility of the original claims. That such talks are in place, what level they would be taking place on, and how much the offer would be per share. So or how such information would have leaked. So a lot of this stuff is still speculation. A lot of this stuff is crazy to hear, especially with this big of a company. And like I said, we could take it with a grain of salt because nobody that has been speculating or making these videos on YouTube has 100% a guaranteed source. It's all hearsay. So you guys heard it from me. I don't know if this is going to happen. I'm just speculating on if it does happen. I just gave you guys some of my thoughts on what this could do for the platform going forward. A lot of people that already purchased a PlayStation 4 and all these other great games that are dropping, this would be the mega bomb of the year. It would surpass E3. It would surpass the Xbox 2. Because it's such a huge gaming, pretty much IPs from Take-Two. They're just so huge. It was when you look at a Red Dead Redemption 2 and you look at a God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2 just blew it out of the water. But when you look at also a Spider-Man and you look at 2K, 2K blew it out of the water. And when you look at a Grand Theft Auto 5, which came out on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 at the end of their life cycle, came over to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. PC as well was where it really generated a ton of money. But you could play online and buy shark cards and all this other stuff. Has accumulated a shitload of money, okay? So when you accumulate all them things together, you take Grand Theft Auto, you take Red Dead Redemption 2, NBA 2K, and others, but I'm just mentioning their top 3 big ones that everybody's going to remember, and you compare them with Xbox's exclusives, Sony's exclusives, or Nintendo's exclusives, they blow them out of the water just because they were sold on multiple platforms. But that being said, if there was only one place to where you could buy this thing, which would suck in a way for game developers to generate a shitload of money, even though they would generate a ton of money, Sony would solidify themselves the #1 console going forward. They already have this gen, but I'm saying for next gen, if it was PlayStation 5, there would be no big reason to buy big multiplats except for some EA games and a few, EA has multiple games. You look at Battlefront or Battlefield, and then you look at Madden. And then you would look at Activision with their Call of Duties and their Black Ops and whatnot and shit like that. But other than that, when you look at big-time multiplats, Red Dead was there, Grand Theft Auto's there, 2K's there, and that's it. And then there were, Maddens and FIFAs and Battlefields and your, Black Ops and stuff like that, Call of Duties. But then after that, it was God of War, it was Spider-Man, and then there was, I think, Pokemon, or it was Super Smash Brothers was in there, and, some Mario games. Obviously, Mario Odyssey and Zelda would be up in that upper echelon of game sales in the top 10. So if they got this is just the biggest announcement of 2019 if it happens. But if I have to be real for a second, I see this happening, but I don't see this happening till after E3. And I do want to say this also. If it did happen, they still have, I'm sure, some kind of deals with other multiplats, especially PC, that they would still be making games for another year, maybe. I don't know how they do it all the time, but it's kind of like We Happy Few when that developer got bought up. They still had to uphold their end of the agreement to make that game for Sony. And then there's Obsidian, I think is the name of the studio. I could be wrong, but I think they have to make one more game for PlayStation as well. And then they're going to strictly be exclusive to Xbox and obviously PC. So that's why I say Sony, if they want to keep their exclusives, just bring in a PC, because Xbox is keeping their exclusives on their console, but also bringing them PC, and then with their xCloud and their Game Pass going to everywhere, to stay competitive and to stay, I guess, in that happy casual / hardcore fan kind of addiction to where people are supporting a platform of choice. Them are the things I think necessary you have to take to really generate more money to pretty much make yourself be the #1 console, or big time game exclusivity to sell consoles, or whether it be people going, oh my goodness, Grand Theft Auto 6 is only on PlayStation 5, instead of all these PC players bitching and complaining, or a lot of people, and there's a ton of them that would, even a ton of people on Xbox, once this company, if it did get bought up, would bitch and complain. But then again, that's what a company has to do to sell consoles. I understand what exclusives are, but I still believe console exclusives are cool as long as they open them up to the PC, because more money will be generated overall, which therefore them companies and developers will be able to make more of that game for not only the console exclusivity people that want to play on their platform, whether it be the Switch, Xbox One, or PlayStation 4 or 5 or whatever, but it would also be there for the PC players as well. And a lot of people would say, well, then the PC would get everything. It's slowly going that way anyway. But I had to take a second to give you guys my opinion. I had to share this, also talk a little bit about what I think if they picked up these companies, what that would do for that Sony platform going forward, especially with the PlayStation 5 possibly being announced later on this year, for next year. So there's so much great stuff going on in the video game world as a whole. If you guys like this channel, though, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys like and share this video as well. Hit the bell notifications to be up to date with all videos that are game related. GameOver 86. I will see you guys later on the next video. I hope you guys stay safe, do a good deed, and I love you very much. Peace, guys.